Hello everyone, I'm Charlie Davis of Capital Athletics, and joining me now the head coach of Crusaders football, that would be Mr. Craig Candeto. Coach, 48-14 loss to Baldwin Wallace last week. Positives and negatives to take away from that game. The positives were your offense was able to move the ball. The running attack seems to be pretty potent compared to other weeks, but it seemed like every time you get near or in the red zone, short-circuited themselves, turnovers, penalties, etc. Can you talk a little bit about how the offense performed against the Yellow Jackets last week?
Well, I think you jinxed us talking about the red zone for the past few weeks about how consistent we were, and we weren't this week. So I'm just kidding. You didn't jinx us. It's all on us. It's that consistency, I think, that we're still searching for. Being a young team, just telling our guys to continue to. Every single play is important. You could go for a 15-play drive, get inside the 10, and then you can blow it inside the 10. And we did that on Saturday early on, and I think that hurt us specifically offensively. I mean, first drive of the game, we fumble the football and play 4. Can't do that. Third drive, we're driving, doing a nice job. Score a touchdown, it's called a touchdown, gets called back for a legitimate hold. It was a good call. A play that I do not think we even needed to make the hold, and we probably would have scored without that attempt at a block. And then we stall out there, we try a field goal, we kick it into the back of the line, it's too low. And those are big momentum swings for a football program, especially a young one looking for success early. So we've just got to be more consistent in every single phase.
One big positive I took away from the game last week was it was nice to see guys like Corey Heater and Nick Waters get into the end zone for the first time this season. It has to make you feel pretty good that those young guys are starting to round and perform at the slot back positions.
No question. I was excited for those two guys to get in the end zone, and they've worked hard, and it was nice. We talked as a staff about having some guys step up and make plays with the football in their hands. And those two guys were individuals that made nice runs and got in the end zone. Nolan Gill was another one on Saturday that he gave him the football and he made some guys miss, broke some tackles. And it was more than just, hey, I caught the ball, I'm running free for 10 yards. It was, hey, he actually made guys miss. He broke those guys' tackles, which we haven't seen a lot this year, but it was nice to see those guys step up and do that.
So a big game coming up with Heidelberg. Before we get to the matchup with the Student Princes, let's go to Senior Day and Homecoming. That's what's going to be happening at Bernlohr Stadium this upcoming weekend. Let's talk about the seniors. Small senior class, only 5 of them. How would you characterize this senior class that you've had this year at Capital?
An interesting group just because it's so diverse. I mean, we have 4 guys there that have been with the program for a while, and then Taylor is a baseball guy that came over this year. So, it's a little bit diverse in that aspect, but a dedicated group. I've told those guys before, they've seen a lot in this program, they've been through a lot, and to say there's only 5 guys, that speaks a lot to those guys' character and their willingness to stick it out. Because I'm pretty sure there was bigger than 5 guys when they came in as freshmen. So, it's been some tough times for Capital football in the last 4 years when these guys have been going through year after year. And for them to still be here, that speaks a lot to their willingness to try and make this thing work and try and get Capital football back on top.
Also, homecoming taking place. Don't really know what we're going to be doing for homecoming this year, but still a pretty special event here at Capital.
It always is, yeah. You usually have a bigger crowd. Hopefully the weather will be nice, it won't be too cold, and there's all the festivities. There's the tailgating, even more so on a homecoming weekend, and a lot of players come back. I spoke to a former player from last year, and he said he's getting a group of the guys that were seniors last year to come back and tailgate, and they're really looking forward because a lot of those guys are local or close, and they don't get back much for games, but usually they'll pinpoint that homecoming game. So we're looking forward to have some of those guys back.
So your opponent during the homecoming game is going to be Heidelberg. And Coach, seems like we talk every week about how you have a tough opponent week after week in the OAC. Heidelberg is no different. They have a lot of offensive firepower. Earlier this year, they put 69 points on a pretty good Otterbein squad. So what stands out to you the most when you watch the film of the Student Princes?
Yeah, they're very athletic. They move the football. We'll have to score a lot of points to beat these guys, and I think some of the games you watch of them this year, some of the shootouts they've had are unreal. I mean, their Ohio Northern game was unbelievable. We thought there was something wrong. We were watching the score on the computer before one of our games, getting ready to leave, and we thought that there was something wrong because I think it was 45-35 at half.
Video game numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And that was that's a little bit scary when you have a team coming in like that that's scored, and for the struggles that we've had on defense. But you know, we've just got to try and do and put the best game plan in that we can. Coach Hood and the defensive staff are working hard. I can guarantee you they're working hard to try and get that offense stopped. And you know, it's going to be a tough game for us. We're going to have to do everything right. We certainly can't turn the ball over as much as we have on offense and give these guys the ball back. My goal is to keep the football as long as we can on offense, to keep their offense off the field and limit their big plays, because they are a big play offense. They've got some experience. They've got a very skilled running back. They've got a receiver that's one of the best in the conference, and their quarterback's been very good this year as well.
All right, well, hey, good luck against Heidelberg, and beat those Student Princes.
Thanks, Charlie.
That was head coach Craig Candeto joining us today. He and his Crusaders will be taking on the Heidelberg Student Princes this weekend. It'll be homecoming at Bernlohr Stadium, so come on out and join us. If not, you can listen to our broadcast on athletics.capital.edu. I'm Charlie Danes for Capital Athletics. We'll see you next time.